very blessed good afternoon to you, to each and every one of you who've taken a moment to, away from your busy schedule to be a part of this sharing moment from Shepherd's Care Ministries of Tampa Bay, non-incorporated. This is Dr. Samuel O. Kirkland, Sr. I am the servant leader, the founder of Shepherd's Care Ministries of Tampa Bay. We are a ministry that's dedicated to have ordinary people teach ordinary people to do extraordinary things through faith. Through faith. Faith being the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of those things unseen or not seen. But I was reminded just yesterday, in speaking with a very dear friend, and he reminded me by saying, Doc, faith, that hope, that faith hope is widening every day. Let me say that a little bit more clear. The road of hope by faith is widening every day. In other words, those things that we are hoping for by faith is becoming more and more visible to us so that we can fulfill that human attribute that if I can't see it, I can't believe in it. But I am assured that the original purpose of the divine creator of this complete world, not just the planet Earth, but the entire universe, that things are not for us to see them, but to believe in them. If you believe, all things are possible, even those things that you hope for. But the essence of today's sharing moment, my beloved, is not on the subject of faith or belief, but rather it is on the subject of forgiveness. Forgiveness. I would like to share with you that to say I forgive, but I can't forget, is of no avail. It doesn't have any impact whatsoever in not only the kingdom of the Most High, but here in the earthly realm. If someone says to you, I forgive you, as a simple salutation, saying hello, or as a benediction, saying goodbye, and yet, I won't forget it. I forgive you, but I won't forget it. Or to say to yourself, I forgive myself, but I won't forget that which I have done. That will not avail of anything either, in the earthly realm, nor in the heavens. So in essence, my brothers and my sisters who are listening today, to say that I forgive, but I cannot forget, that is one of the greatest sins that we can commit. One of the greatest sins. One of the if you will, one of the promises that we made in our wedding vow with the Most High that we would forgive. The model prayer is that forgive us our trespasses, forgive us our debt, as we forgive others who trespassed or indebtedness to us. But yet if we say to the Most High, forgive us, and throw it into the sea of forgetfulness, then we certainly must say to those who have trespassed against us, that I forgive you, and I throw it into the sea of forgetfulness. If we can't do it, then it questions, do we have that much faith in the divine to say that I forgive you? If you can't say I will forget it, then certainly we're not following the example of the Christ, the anointed one, the one who destroys the yokes that keep us bound to those things that we harbor or keep in our hearts that will prevent us from getting in to the Most High's place of rest. Yeshua, our Messiah, taught us, the incarnated man of God, Emmanuel, taught us that only the pure of heart shall see God. Only the pure of heart shall see God. And if our hearts are not pure, then it stands to reason that we will not be able to enter into the final place of rest with our Most High. Did you get that, saints? Did you get that, my beloved? If we can't forgive and forget, then our heart still holds on to an enmity to God, and that's sin. It's a sin not to forgive and forget. Have you ever looked at it in that extreme? It's a sin. You know, it's so easy for us to say forgiveness is something we all struggle with at times, and we do. We struggle with knowing if the Most High forgives us for something we've done. We struggle with that. If you're true to yourself today, we struggle with forgiving those that have hurt us. Oh, Father, have mercy on me. And we struggle with forgiving ourselves when we fail. Oh, have mercy on me, Most High. That is why the words that are written in all of the religious texts always refers to forgiveness. And when we read them, including the Bible, the Judeo-Christian Bible, that we find that there's hope in knowing what the scriptures tell us about forgiveness and forgetting. Oh, I've struggled all my life, saints. All my life. With all of these issues, all of the issues of forgiveness at one time or another. So I hope that the verses that I will read in a few minutes will help you as we read about forgiveness. We hope that it encourages you in your walk with the Most High to help you as they have helped my walk. There was a situation that I heard of a long time ago. It's a bit of a joke, but it really is more of an allegory, statement. The story goes something like this. There was a revival taking place in one of the Indian nations, and the Spirit was destroying the yokes that had the folks bound with old superstitions and old idol worshiping that were done by this particular group of people. And the story goes that one night the chief was so inspired by the message that was being delivered that when the altar call came forth for everyone to come forth who desired to come to Jesus, the chief came forward. And the evangelist, to my opinion, not taking it to the next step, but leaving it at the point of Jesus, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But the story says that the chief came forth, and the chief said, "Me chief, me give him me blanket to Jesus." The evangelist looked at the chief and said, "Chief, that's a wonderful gift. However, that's not what Jesus is looking for from you." Chief took his blanket, walked away. Next night, when the altar call came forward, the chief said, "Me chief, me bring him all of me jewelry, me silver, me gold, me turquoise. I give it all to Jesus." The evangelist once again looked dead into the chief's eyes and said, "Chief, those are such marvelous gifts, but that's not what Jesus is looking for." So the third night, before the chief came up, the evangelist looked out into the audience and said to the chief, "Chief, before you come up tonight, I want you to go back home and you ask the Most High Creator God, what is it that He wants you to bring to Him by way of His Son, Jesus of Nazareth? Ask the question, and then the Most High will answer you. And come back tomorrow night and tell us what it is that God said to you to bring to Jesus." So as the service ended, Chief went back to his place of residence, and he did what the evangelist told him to do that night. And sure enough, he got an answer. And the next night, he came back to the revival. And right on cue, at the end of the service, the evangelist made an altar call to those who wanted to come to Jesus. And of course they sang the song, "Come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus right now." And the chief really got caught up in the spirit. Chief came up. He said, "Me was bringing me horse tonight to give to Jesus. But God said no, not the horse, but for you, chief of this nation, chief of many warriors, chief of many squaws, chief of many children, with many horses, lots of livestock. You are the big chief. Tonight, you are to give yourself to Jesus." And Chief said, "Tonight, me chief, giving me self